Hello, how are you? I'm back. I've been gone for the weekend, but I'm back. Everybody knows I'll be back, right? Okay, I wanted to do an eye look today that's fun. I got a lot of compliments on it last week and I was like, I should tell my friends. So here I am telling my friends. So this is SEINT makeup. This is the palette 8. It's a double decker. It holds 8 of the full-size tiles and 16 of the eyeshadow tiles. So you can make a real bitchin' eyeshadow little palette. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna dive in and I'm gonna do my brows first. So I'm gonna use the eyeshadow color Trust. We're getting into summer and I like, because my skin's getting tanner, I like my brows to be darker. It makes sense in my head. So there we go. So all I'm gonna do is I am going to start at this bottom corner here and I'm just gonna draw a nice hard line up and over. I overplucked back in the 90s. I say this every time I do my brows. Same spiel, same way. Okay, and so I have to outer line this part of my brow. So about halfway over, I do a hard line on the top and I meet that tail. And it just makes a little brow template. Stamp the front. You never want to forget about that front corner line up. And then I'm just going to take a little bit on my brush, what's left on my brush, pull from those hard lines, and I'm filling it in to give the illusion of a brow. And I just kind of load as I go. When I get to the front here, I just kind of flick up and I pull from that bottom hard line. And it makes for a natural, I mean, your brow's naturally larger over here, and so it makes it look more natural. So that's what I'm doing. All right, doing the same thing over on this side. Start at that bottom corner and we're gonna hard line up. Hard line up and over. And you just load as you go, because you don't want to just try to pile as much on the brush as you want or as you can. It's always easier to just load as you go. So I'm just doing that halfway over and finishing out that tail. And then I'm gonna do that stamp, boop, and then I'm gonna fill in back here on the tail. Does anybody else call that part of their brow a tail, or is that just me? I'm pulling up on the front and up, and just keep it kind of natural looking. And then I'm pulling from those hard lines to soften them, but also use that excess product. I'm gonna take a setting spray, SEINT setting spray, and I'm gonna spray the spoolie. Just little spritzes, and then I'm gonna rub it into my brow wax, and then I'm gonna comb it up and over. And this just picks up any excess that's on your hairs as far as the powder goes from the shadow, and it tames those wizard hairs. And that's my brows. That's all I'm doing on the brows. They're set, they're done, they're ready to go. So one of the things that I do is I use my highlights as my eyeshadow primer. I like doing that. So take a beauty blender. You can get these super cheap at a grocery store and just give it a little spritz. This is something I typically do at the very beginning when I'm putting it all over my face and I haven't done my eyeshadow already. I will put the setting spray on the beauty blender and I'll put it all over my face, including my eyelids. But because I've already done my face, I haven't yet. So I'm just taking this, I like this one. This is an e.l.f. one, it's less than $5. And I'm just going to press some of that setting powder onto my lid. So if you're just gonna do your whole face all at once, which that's typically what you do, take that setting spray and just put it everywhere and then let that dry. It's so gentle and so nice. It's moisturizing, and so it keeps it from getting dry on your eyelids also. So I'm just letting that dry. And then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take my blend brush. I like this brush. And I'm going to go into this. This is a little bit lighter than I typically do. This is the color Linen. And I like to take this color and just kind of pop it into areas and then blend it. And it just gives the illusion of brightness on my skin without adding a shimmer. Because some people don't love doing shimmers. They just want a little lightness on their skin. And so that's just a way you can do that. So I'm gonna take the littlest bit and I'm going to put it on my lids. Just taking this and I'm gonna put it all the way over from the lid all the way up to the brow. Now this is important for this look because I'm not going to be using a brightening shade. It's 4 colors and they're all pretty bold, but it comes out looking so pretty. But on the brow bone, I wanna have that lightness that brightening gives. So that's why I start at the lid and then I'm working my way all the way up to the brow because I want that lightness to give my eyebrows the illusion that they're higher, and I'm always surprised. Just gives the illusion your brows are a little higher than they actually are. I also have not brightened under my eyes yet. I'm going to wait until the end because it will clean up any excess that falls and it'll lift my eyes at the end, and I like that. So I'm going to be using the smudge brush. This guy, didn't have him out ahead of time. Should have, but I didn't. And I'm going to take my setting powder, the vanilla dust, and on the bigger end, just going to rub into it, and I am going to set my lids. So I put my setting spray on to help keep that highlight on, and then I put my highlight on because it works as a great primer, and then I'm setting it to absorb the moisture. This will help with any creasing, and so I'm just using that setting powder I already have. If you have the eyeshadow color Cupcake, that's another really good one, as well as Pup, Mama, just one of your really lighter shades. You can also use an eyeshadow. You don't have to go and buy a product just to do this. You can use a really light eyeshadow. All right, so I've put that on. Now I'm gonna dive into these really fun colors. So I have Lullaby, it's this beautiful mauve. It looks good on everyone. And then I have Miha, it's this scary pink color. Trust, which I put on my brows. And then I have this color, As Elf. That's the fun one. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm first gonna put on my transition color, which is Lullaby. And with hooded eyes, so if this part of your lid touches your lash, you've got a hooded eye. And the best way to show your colors is to open your eyes and put that transition color on your brow. You got a lot of real estate there. Use it. And so you just put it on the brow and bring it over like that. And then I'm going to grab a little more and I'm going to do this side. I'm going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so I'm going to take my cleaning towel and just wipe off the excess, and I'm going to windshield wiper this and then use little circles to just smoke out that top line so it's not a hard line, it's a soft line. Isn't that pretty? Super pretty. So windshield wiper into the crease and then little circles just buffing and smoothing that transition color so it's a fade and a transition, but that brightness we put on with our highlight is up there, and so you don't need to add another color. All right, the next color I'm going to go into the small end. Anything that's on, I'm just going to wipe off onto the small end, onto the cleaning tile. All right, I am going to go into Miha, this scary pink color right here. Put it on the brush. And I am going to come over here and just put a dot and a dot. Just kind of gives you that starting point. And then I'm going to blend this into the crease. Scary, right? It's so pink and it's so scary, but it turns out stunning. I'm going to flip it, clean off this big end, and I'm just windshield wipering and pushing into that brow bone. And it just kind of brings it into that Lullaby mauve color. It's so pretty, and this is just kind of helping a little bit of that Miha going into the crease, flipping it, and I'm blending it. This just I like to brighten my transition color with this eye look. So it's got the Lullaby as a deeper mauve color, and then it has this Miha brightness. Isn't that so pretty? Okay. Let's get into Trust. I'm going to take the wide end, the bigger end, and I'm going to just rub this in so it's almost like a line, and I am going to go along my lash line like that, just like so. I'm going to see here, is there enough? Yep. So I'm taking that and I'm just putting it on the lash line and just gonna, I biffed it a bit. And so I'm just holding my lid tight and I'm just blending that into the lash line. Hold it tight, I'm just buffing it into the lash line. I'm not pulling it, I'm just holding it taut. Okay, and I'm just gonna bring that out right here, just brings your eyes open a little bit, makes them look a little bit bigger. I'm gonna get a little more, just a bit, and I'm gonna take care of my lash line at the bottom, right like that. So I've taken care of that bottom lash line, brought it up, and now my lashes have met over here. Does that make sense? It makes sense, yes. Okay, I'm going to get into this scary purple color. It's shimmery, it's bright, it's deep, it's beautiful. I'm going to take this small end and I'm really gonna barrel into this. I'm putting a liberal amount and I am going to cover my lid with this. Covering the lid, the whole lid. It's such a beautiful color and I'm gonna bring it all the way to the corner. All the way to the corner. All right. Isn't that pretty? Stay with me, stay with me. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm just taking that liberal amount of as if, and I'm just covering the lid, just the lid, not the crease, just the lid, over to the corner. Now remember, we haven't brightened, so we're able to clean this up if it gets anywhere. A little bit. So now I'm gonna take and I'm gonna clean this off on this tile, and I am blending this into that pink, into that Miha color. That's it. I'm just blending it up into it so it fades into pink. Windshield wipering between the two. So I'm on both Miha and As If. And it's just buffing them together, smoking it together, undefining it so it goes from purple to pink when you don't even know it. That's that. I'm gonna take a little bit of Trust and I'm gonna take care of this bottom lash line. It needed a little more. I'm also going to stamp and stamp, and I'm just deepening the outer corner of that purple. And right here, it needs a little more purple. Looks a little funny. So I'm just making this smooth. I'm gonna grab my eyeshadow brush right here. I'm taking the fluffy end, I'm gonna wipe it down on my tile, and I am just blending. This fluffy end is so good for blending. You don't even need to put any product on it. Just use it for blending. And it's so pretty. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my eyeliner, Maybelline Tattoo Studio, cheap and good, just like me. Okay, I'm gonna waterline the top, and I'm gonna waterline the bottom. Waterline the top, and waterline the bottom. And then I'm gonna get, let's see, I gotta turn my eyeball. I'm just getting that corner ledge of my eyelid. There we go. So it's not on the waterline, so it doesn't transfer down. I'm gonna take my trusty Kat Von D tattoo liner and trooper, and I'm gonna start at the beginning of my lashes, and I'm bringing this over, and then I'm gonna go start down here at this corner, and I'm gonna pull it up, and I'm gonna stay with that purple I put in. And I'm just coloring it in now. So it's kind of a cat eye. And it just adds a little depth. Their cat eyes are pretty. This would be a fun date night. This could be fun for a wedding, bridal party, depending on her colors, of course. And up. All right. All right, so I've got my little cat eye here. Boom. I'm gonna grab my mascara, also Maybelline Falsies. I like this one. I like this one a lot. I've spent a lot of money on one tube, not on this one, and this one's good. And I'm just gonna wiggle at the root and pull. I like a nice full lash. If I can't have length, I'll at least look full. So I'm just gonna get that coated here. This was just such a pretty color. Everybody seemed to like it. Goes really well with brown eyes, but it also goes well with hazel eyes, blue eyes, all the eyes. I love purple. But it's always hard to find something for the brown-eyed gals. It just pulls out little flecks of lightness. Same with hazel. All right, so here we go. This is the hardest part about doing an eyeshadow tutorial, is waiting for my mascara to finish. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that brightening color, and I am going to take my blend brush, and this is a little brighter than I typically do, and I'm going to go on the inner corner right here, and I'm going to go here, up. Okay, and this is just a pop of color, but putting a bright pop of color on the outer corner like this brings that eye up. Look at that. I'm going to go into my main brightening, my real brightening that I use on my face. I'm going to dip into it, and I'm going to go in right here and come across and meet that bright pop of color. I'm just making that little triangle that you do with a concealer, but I'm not bringing it all the way up because I did that pop of color. And I'm just doing that. So the inner corner and up to that brightening pop. Get a little, I like to put a little on the side of my nose here. Helps with the contouring. And I have this discoloration spot right there. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to flip it to the blending end, and I am just going to very lightly, with the lightest of touch, blend up. Do you see that? And then I'm going to just kind of steeple with the tip on that inner corner, and it just brightens up the eye, lifts it up, cleans everything up. So just the littlest of touch, sweeping and blending, bringing this up. So this takes that brightening that's more neutral here and gets it to that pop of brightening, and by sweeping it up, it brings it up but doesn't muddy them together. It transitions them together. I love that. Okay, I'm going to take what's left on the brush, just take care of this because I can. I'm going to steeple right here in the corner. All right, setting spray. Ta-da. Okay, so this is the eye look. I think it's super pretty. It's, again, I've got my eye set, so it's a nice neutral lid. I've got Lullaby on my brow bone that I transitioned with Miha, that pink. And then I just deepened my lash line and my under lash line with Trust. And then I put that As If purple all over my lid and just faded it into those transition colors. And it's such a beautiful color. I absolutely love it. And I kind of like hopping on and showing a color that people will look at, oop, there it is, and just say, ooh, I'm not too sure about this. It's just such a beautiful shade of purple. And I don't like people to miss out on these scary colors. So there's the purple As If, and then there's also the really super scary. Everybody finds these two to be kind of scary. So As If and Miha. And I think they go together really, really well. It's good for so many different eye colors. So if you're looking for a new fun date night, wedding, graduation, baby shower, anything, Saturday, Monday look, I just wanted to give this as an option. It's such a beautiful color. So I will post a little picture of the eyes and the colors that I used. And now you know how I did it. So have a good day, and I will talk to you probably tomorrow. Bye.